It's one of those things. When I came into the business, I remember my uncle saying to me, you can either sell good stuff or rubbish. He says, you'll make a fortune if you want to sell rubbish. He says, you can't do both. And unfortunately, I stuck to the latter, selling good stuff. I don't feel sentimental about this area at all. I myself am the least sentimental type of slob you could wish to meet. You've got the homemade fried fish. You've got to remember what I've got in front of you. You've got all the homemade fish cakes that I cook. There's salt beef, homemade pickled salt beef. There's homemade cucumbers. There's specially prepared schmaltz herrings and homemade pickled herrings. Also homemade chopped herring, chopped liver. Got a very good continental Jewish baker who bakes special the old-fashioned cheesecake and apple cake for us and Danish pastries. And we also do a very well old-fashioned idea. You have to be over 60, usually, of Russian and Jewish parentage to know what that is. That's a dried brown herring, which is very, very, very salty. Very good if you haven't got blood pressure, it'll give you blood pressure. Well, when I came here in 45 or 46. It's a bit blurred now. And my ambition then was to be a layabout. And my uncle said to me, it was my mother's brother, he says, you'll only be here for 2 years. And it's now 1996, and the place was supposed to come down. According to my uncle, the GLC had a road widening scheme. They were interested in it. It was going to come down in 1948. So when 1948 comes along, I'm leaving. In 1946, it was, I would say, 40 to 50% of the population. It was very heavy Jewish population around here at the time. Over 40 or 50% of them were the elderly Jewish people who probably left Russia and Poland at the turn of the century when the pogroms, they were forced to leave. And there was Jewish papers here at the time. Most of them hardly picked up any English, and that was one of the ways I picked up Yiddish. I had to talk to them, make myself understood. The next turning, Hessel Street, was a small market, a small-scale petticoat lane, which you've probably heard of, and there were butcher shops and baker shops and stall holders, fruit shops, fruit stalls. There was even one fish shop there, which a husband and wife ran. There was fish on one side, with a little entrance in the middle, and on the other side, the wife sold linen and cloth, all in the one shop. So you can draw your own conclusions to that. The area was a run-down slum area, and when they have come back, they come back now and say, look what's happened to the place, how terrible it is, and I always say to them, what is terrible about it? I mean, it was filthy, it was smelt in the summer, there was flies, there was, at the back of the market, there was a hill where they ran parallel to the market, where they killed all the chickens and one thing and another, and the blood was running everywhere. The main thing about years ago were these people were young, so everything was marvellous. When the docks were still thriving, the dockers were practically my best customers. They assimilated with the Jewish people, picked up the Jewish food, and they were very good eaters. If they earned a pound, they spent a pound on food. But I still have Jewish customers who come down, and Jewish customers are in the area, but they are mainly older people now. And the dockers still come in, the ex-dockers, and their children still come in. The publicans use my food. They like to put my herrings on the bar. There's still a few Jewish garment shops in the main street, not too many, but whereas it was Jewish population, it's transferred to a Bangladesh population. It's just a shift of population.
There are, you see.
You want a piece like that or bigger?
A little bit bigger. That's okay. That'll be fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ah. Is it long enough? Well, I better give you a £10 note, I think.
Next.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, principally you've got three kinds of customers here. You've got the Bangladesh people who say, how much a pound? You've got the Jewish people who say, how much? And you've got the Christian people who say, thank you very much. That's what, and that's about sums it up, I think, there. But the Jewish population went to Hendon, Ilford and Edgware as a whole, and other outlying districts, anywhere they could away from the East End, I would have thought. I myself never worried too much about it. I was busy running around doing other things. Single type of carefree chap had an eye. Never mind. Future for the shop, I think it'll either be an Indian takeaway or an Indian garment or whatever. It wouldn't be any good to anybody else in this type of thing, I don't think. I'd willingly sell them the place and stay with them and train them for 6 months or a year, but I think it's a personal hand-me-down type of business which will gradually become extinct with me going. There's nobody to take these things over. When I'm gone, all you'll have is supermarkets. When I say when I'm gone, generally when the small shopkeeper is gone, he won't be replaced. He'll be taken over by supermarkets who sell the next best thing. They won't get the same quality food, but it won't matter because they won't know what the better quality food was anyway.
Vai valer att ni är, att kuschare mitt i är, gilt dig när